So recently you may have seen me talking about this post coming from some random user online talking about the similarities between Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves. Pretty much implying that Genshin Impact got copied by Wuthering Waves and that Wuthering Waves was actually using a ton of stuff from Genshin Impact, which obviously isn't true, and I made a whole video on this kind of debunking it and talking about the differences in Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact and kind of drawing the line between copying and just taking inspiration from a game. I recently actually shared a video on Twitter where it actually shows a deleted animation from Jinhsi's Liberation. Now, if you've seen the original one, I'll play it on screen right now. This is her original one. And then this one is the other one. This is the one that they didn't actually add into the game, which again looks very, very cool. And a lot of people were asking, well, why isn't in this game? Well, it turns out there's actually a really big reason why. And if they actually went through with this animation, then it could have actually been quite bad for Kuro Games. So in this video, we're going to be going through everything you need to know about Wuthering Waves in this animation and talking about why it wasn't added and about how Kuro Games avoided some serious legal trouble just by creating this simple thing. But before I get into this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy it. And also go over to Gamers use my code KAZO where you can get yourself 10% off a ton of cups and tubs. I definitely recommend going over there. They got a ton of really nice flavors out at the moment. So yeah, go over there, use my code, and you get 10% off. But let's get back into the video. So pretty much a couple of hours later after this video was released, because it wasn't only released on my account, it was released on a ton of other ones, including Naoshio themselves. And obviously Naoshio is a news kind of Twitter account, which follows everything to do with Wuthering Waves and also Punishing Grey Raven, which again is great. And they pretty much say about the Jinhsi Resonance Liberation animation that was showed at today's Apple event. Then there's this whole post, which I think is on Bilibili, and it's all in Chinese, so obviously I can't read that. But it seems like Naoshio has actually translated it here. Now, I don't know how reliable his translations are, so I definitely take a lot of this with a grain of salt, but it seems like it can be trusted, and a lot of people trust Naoshio whenever it comes to translating stuff over from China. I mean, that's pretty much the whole thing. They bring a lot of stuff over from China. And they said, through the feedback from our rovers, we've discovered that during our roadshow event held in Tianhe Plaza in Guangzhou on the evening of September 13th, 2024 at 7 o'clock, we mistakenly used third-party motion effects material. Upon learning of the situation, we immediately conducted an internal investigation. After the investigation, it was confirmed that the materials in question was indeed an original creation by the author Mo Aokik. I don't know if I said that right, but they said, which was mistakenly used during our reference stage without realizing it was not company-owned material. We used the material as a reference for a motion effect without obtaining the creator's consent and failed to clearly state the source during the presentation, causing emotional harm to the designer. So it seems like this was actually revealed before. I don't think this was them going through old concepts. Maybe it was, but I'm pretty sure this is actually before Jinhsi came out and they were showcasing this animation before, and obviously they had to change it later on. And a lot of the people who were at this event were asking, well, where was this original animation? And it seems like they did copy from another user or another person in terms of motion graphics, which, yeah, isn't great for any company because they haven't actually, credited them or, given them any kind of recognition for this. And they only brought out that apology because the video came out. And obviously, they didn't include any credits or any kind of mention in this kind of pre-show, which again can be kind of harmful to the original creator. And pretty much this was the original video on Bilibili. It's from Mo Aokik, I think that's what it says. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, so sorry if I do get it wrong. And you can see very clearly at the top here, it says reproduction without the author's authorization is prohibited. So it's very clear that they don't like their stuff being copied, which again, it's a little bit of an L from Kuro Games there, but let's just watch this animation and see how similar it is to the one that they showed. And yeah, as you can see, it is very, very similar to the one that they showed for Jinhsi. Now, they did have those kind of parting waves things, and they did add quite a bit onto it. As we can see, it had that kind of dragon effect, which they copied, and then that water bit. But apart from that, all of the other stuff is actually original. But again, it's kind of disappointing to see that they use that stuff. But as they said, they actually do use a lot of stuff for reference. Again, if you want to use someone else's stuff for reference just to help you out in the creative process of this, then that's totally fine, and I can see why they did that. But it is good that Kuro Games actually picked up on this before anything bad could happen and before I think the release of Jinhsi at all, and that they could change it so it was more original and that people were credited correctly. And then they continued to say, for this we extend our deepest apologies to Mo Aokik. Again, I may completely have butchered that one. And they said, as well as to the rovers who followed the event, we have already communicated properly with the person and are conducting a thorough and serious review of internal procedures to ensure that similar incidents will not occur in the future. Kuro Games have always been committed to creating high-quality original games. We sincerely thank all players for their support along the way and hope that all Wanderers can continue to supervise us. We will continue to bring more and exciting game content and service experiences for players. So again, that's super good because they're saying, hey, can you pretty much like keep an eye on a lot of the stuff that we're bringing out? Because again, the internet is a very, very big place. So Kuro Games may not pick up on some of the stuff that they'd accidentally taken from somewhere else. And they're pretty much asking us, the players, to kind of look at this stuff and kind of criticize them or point out whenever they've actually copied from someone else or taken some kind of material, which again, I think is very good to see. And it's also very good to see that they're actually conducting an investigation into this and, you know, trying to find out who actually took this animation, because it could just be some random guy, you know, in the animation team or whatever, who found this video on Bilibili and just decided to take it because they said, okay, well, this has only got like a few views or something like that, so I'm going to take it and we're going to use it in our own game. Again, we don't know what the actual case is here. It could be a complete accident. Maybe someone just stumbled upon it in their folder and just added it into the animation thinking it was one of their own. We don't know at all, but again, it's really good to see that they're trying to get to the bottom of it, and it's also really good to see that they've actually contacted the original creator and, you know, apologized. Maybe they even gave them some kind of like compensation for that. And hey, maybe they even gave them a job, because again, they've done some very, very cool animations, especially in that video. And it would be really cool to have someone like that on the team that can actually create some really fancy stuff like that as well. But as I was saying, Wuthering Waves and Kuro Games actually really dodged a bullet there, because if they left this in the game, you could imagine how much drama and how much stir up there would be just because of this. You know, people would be like, oh, Wuthering Waves copied from every single gadget game, whenever that probably isn't the case. And it is a very big team of people, so it's very hard to keep, you know, tabs on a lot of them and, you know, where they're getting their materials from. And I think they've also avoided a massive lawsuit from that Bilibili user, which again, you know, is great for Wuthering Waves, seeing as, you know, they probably don't want to be spending their money on, you know, battling that. But in terms of the actual animation, I do think that this one looks better. I would actually prefer this one. But at the same time, Jinhsi's current one is also very, very good. So hopefully we can see Kuro Games cooking with a, you know, few more experimental ones like this in the future. And hopefully not kind of take assets off of people so they can actually use it in the game. Because again, it is a very, very well animated, you know, piece of work. But yeah, that's about all I got for this video. I just wanted to talk about the situation really quickly because, again, not very many people are talking about it. I found it super interesting in how, you know, Kuro Games actually dealt with this and how they dealt with the original author and stuff, because usually a lot of companies would just like take it down, say sorry, and that's about it, and not even contact the original kind of author. But it seems like they are very apologetic towards the author and also towards the players for, you know, letting us down. But at the same time, I think their response was, you know, the best that it possibly could have been. So that is really great to see. Just let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Do you think that this was a bad thing that happened? Do you think that they should have, you know, done something more to apologize for this? Or do you think that, you know, it's fine and that they've actually done a pretty decent apology and made things right? But if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And as I said, go over to Game yourselves, use my code CASO, you can get yourself 10% off a ton of cubs and tubs. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.